Hello and welcome to the Weekly Blend with me, Abdulai Barrie. As this marks the first edition of the Weekly Blend with me, Abdulai Barrie, there are a lot of issues to be discussed. For the Weekly Blend is here to get the views of youths in Sierra Leone on issues that are affecting them, and also to get their views on youthful concern issues that are discussed globally or internationally. Today, the main topic of discussion would be Madagascar's COVID-19 cure and the World Health Organization saga. For that, we have two guests today in our midst, and they shall be giving us their views and their resolution on the different things they've done research on, and also on the topic as a whole. Welcome back to the Weekly Blend with me, Abdulai Barrie. As I earlier told you, there are two guests present here today, and they are here to give their views on the topic that is to be discussed. The two people present here today are Timothy M. Sessay and Juma.
Hello viewers, I am Timothy MCC and welcome to the Weekly Blend.
Hello viewers, I'm Juma. Welcome to the Weekly Blend.
To start with Timothy M. Sessay. So, what is your view on Madagascar's cure and the World Health Organization saga?
My own view concerning Madagascar's cure and that of the WHO, the World Health Organization saga, is a very interesting one because, as we can see, because the president of that particular country, Madagascar, has given a lot of social media reacts or have been saying to the general public in social media, giving remarks that the reason being why the WHO is yet unable to endorse a cure that they've invented, if I can say, it's as a result of they are seeing Madagascar as a poor country in the world, not only in the world, in Africa as a whole. And that is why they are unable to endorse a cure. That is from their president, Andre Jolina. That is what he said. He is insisting that Africans should abide or should help Madagascar endorse that cure so that people can see that cure as a very unique one to cure COVID-19. Because we all can see COVID-19 is a very deadly disease that is affecting the world. That's why it's called a pandemic, that is affecting the world at large, global at large. So that is to say, if this cure is yet to be endorsed and there is no cure, then there is no other way except we have to accept it for now. But according to the president, he said maybe perhaps they are seeing Madagascar as a poor country. The help is coming from Africa and they are yet to endorse a cure. But yet still, and recently we've had rumors, we have rumors from our Rwanda president that maybe again he is backing or he is supporting the president of Madagascar, that maybe it's perhaps they don't have people who are fighting for Africa again, or maybe we have to unite again as Africans, and then maybe we ourselves can endorse it as really killing right now in Africa. And we can say, as we've done research, that the WHO is saying and is predicting that Africa will die the most or will suffer the most this COVID-19. But Madagascar is trying to fight against that, and that is why they have find a cure to this. But yes, still, we shall continue.
So that was Timothy M. Sessay's view on the Madagascar COVID-19 cure saga alongside the World Health Organization. However, we wouldn't stop there, but also get the view of Juma on the whole saga before we get to further discussion with Timothy M. Sessay and Juma.
Thank you, Mr. Abdulai Barrie, for that wonderful question. It's a pleasure being here today to at least discuss on this issue, Madagascar cure and WHO World saga. You see, COVID-19 has been announced as a pandemic, and you're looking at the world pandemic. There is something that is really affecting the world. People are dying every day, minute by minute, hour by hour, seconds by seconds. So you're looking at Africa as a continent, and Africa representing its people out there, and a country from Africa managed to at least have a cure for this COVID-19. Now, you having a cure for COVID-19, it's been some months now. Scientists have been going through researches, lab technicians, countries. You look at top countries like the United States and other countries going through research without having any cure. So it's a great pleasure, it's a great opportunity for Madagascar having this cure. Yet it is not yet confirmed by the WHO, because the world today all depends on WHO to say COVID-19 is over, or COVID-19 it's yet still to be conquered. So them not accepting, because I can say they've not yet accepted the cure that Madagascar have already produced. And it is the president of Madagascar and the Lina which endorse researchers from Madagascar to go through researches to at least find a platform, find a way to have the COVID-19 cure. And it's through a herbal leaf. A herbal leaf, we all know Africa is a continent that is blessed with different diversities. So we having these leaves, trying to reform it, trying to at least put it in a place wherein we'll be able to have a treatment for the COVID-19. And WHO is saying not yet to be endorsed. They need more verification and more research. The question is, what is the research for? Or what is the verification for? WHO, are they trying to say Madagascar is not competent of having a cure, or Madagascar is not competent of preparing a cure for the COVID-19? That is the question we Africans need to ask ourselves. Now, Africans, we have our whole body. And what pains me the most is that AU, African Union, also is in the support of WHO of not endorsing this COVID-19 treatment. And AU is there to represent Africa. Countries are there in the AU. They're supposed to have a conference with these countries trying to do their own research, because we have time limitation. People are dying minute by minute, seconds by seconds. So WHO is saying they need to do more verification and research towards the endorsement of this treatment. For how long? It might be years, months, or weeks, and people are dying. You look at the United States, New York, Italy, people are dying every day. So what I'm trying to say here is that WHO need to act fast, because they are the particular organization that the world rely on right now to say COVID-19 is over or COVID-19 is yet to be over.
That was actually both the views of the two guests we have here today in the studio, and thank you for that wonderful views you've shared with us. And we will now proceed with the show, as it is here to get the views of youths on issues that are affecting them both nationally and internationally in Sierra Leone. So now, as we know, youths are not already regarded as future leaders, but they are already leaders of today. So what's your take on this whole issue as a youth? Timothy, are you trying to say that the World Health Organization is trying to put the lives of Africans at risk by not endorsing the COVID-19 organics provided by Madagascar?
Well, to that question, I would say yes. WHO is like what they are trying to do, because at the early start of COVID-19, they've already predicted, or they have already made a prediction that Africa would suffer the most in terms of COVID-19. But I yet to see that happen. So I don't know if maybe they want to make their wish come true. That is what they are doing. That's why they are yet to endorse the cure for Madagascar. As my brother earlier said, I don't know if maybe because maybe they are seeing Madagascar, or maybe they are seeing Africans as people are not capable enough to produce a cure for COVID-19.
So you are trying to say Africa is being seen as, not to say Africa per se, because the African Union on May 4th actually had a discussion, and they are still in discussion with Madagascar on how they can do further research on seeing that the COVID-19 organics provided by Madagascar is quite effective. But you are trying to talk as if the African Union is also part of neglecting the cure from Madagascar.
Oh, yes, of course. African Union, as my brother earlier said, we are expecting them to stand for Africa, but now they are turning their back against Africa.
How?
In a sense, because they are seeing there is all proof and evidence to show that this cure is very much effective in terms of healing the COVID-19. Because Madagascar, they have given us, they have shown patients that we are affected with this COVID-19, but now they are healed, they are praising, they are dancing that they are healed as a result of this cure. So if yet still African Union is yet to endorse such a thing, I would say that they are in support with WHO, they are conniving with WHO that Africa will suffer the most, and they want more life or more people to die in Africa, which of course is very, very something that is not good in Africa.
youth Pan-Africanist present here today. It's very nice to get that view from you, Timothy Sessay. So, Juma, earlier on you were talking about people dying in parts around the globe. So, but according to statistics, the white world is the most affected by this COVID-19 pandemic declared by the World Health Organization. So, even that being the case, are you still trying to blame the WHO for putting the lives of Africans at risk, exempting the lives of the Asians and Americans and also Europeans?
Thank you again for that wonderful question. For that particular question, I would like to give a scale of 50-50. Because you're looking at the scale 50-50 there, I would like to say yes, I would like to say no. Because, okay, let me emphasize first on the yes aspect. You're looking at WHO trying to put Africans at risk. I say yes, 50%, because Africans are the most vulnerable whenever it comes to war or disease, because Africans are yet to be independent. Like what Professor Lumumba always say, Africa needs to be on the dinner table, neither being a waiter or the menu on the dinner table. So WHO refusing to endorse the COVID-19 cure made by Madagascar, that is putting Africans' life at risk. We don't know the time. They might say they need more research on this particular cure. It might take a year or a month for them to conclude that this cure is yes or no, whether they'll be able to endorse or they will not be able to endorse. And you look at the particular COVID-19 cure, yes, it has cured many people in Madagascar, as the president there stated it clearly at BBC, as he was interviewed there. It's not about putting the life of other youths, Europe, Asia at risk. But like I said previously, Africans are the more vulnerable. Understand? We are not at the dinner table. Countries in Asia, America, Europe, they are having efficient lab tools, more advanced lab to do their research.
So are you trying to say that the COVID-19 organics should be shared only amongst Africans?
No, I'm
because
not
we are
trying to say
trying
that,
to
because that is selfishness. With
but
us doing that,
you are trying to outline the capability of the wider world on their labs and their technicians and
of course,
all the research materials they have.
Yeah, of course, because you look at the European world, they're having more advanced tools than that of Africa. The only place that we can rely on Africa is like Rwanda coming up recently, that of Ghana, that of Tanzania, that we can rely. So with us having the cure that has not been yet to be endorsed by WHO, like other countries have already started using it, like countries like Tanzania, Equatorial Guinea, Niger. So you're looking at this, even Nigeria are in the process to start using this particular cure. So you're looking at this, I say it's a cure that needs to be endorsed. And you're saying putting the life of Europeans, Asians, and Americans at risk. I'm not trying to put the life of Americans, Asians, and that of the Western world at risk. But it's about giving the statistics here. Africans are the more vulnerable.
So we see the vulnerability of Africans shown here by Juma, and he gave out his views. So we move further to get the view of Timothy Sessay. So Timothy, actually, Juma has said a lot, and he explained, and what I see, there is an interrelation between the two of you, as if you're trying to be upcoming Pan-Africanists from Sierra Leone. However, that's just to be put aside. But on another view, are you all like trying to say that, let's say you, to be precise, are you in favor of the COVID-19 organics provided by Madagascar to be shared around African countries, or to be precise, Sierra Leone, which is our country, our motherland, which is also being hit by the COVID-19?
Yes to that, because we are seeing Sierra Leone recently, though we are able to have the death rate is still low for Sierra Leone, but yet we are having cases increasing day by day, second by second, time by time. Cases are just increasing. Now I think we're up to updated one. I think we're up to 570 cases right now in Sierra Leone, confirmed cases in Sierra Leone. But yet still, although we are still having low death rates in Sierra Leone, but if really we are seeing other African countries accepting it in their countries, and it's really curing the people that are being affected. And I don't think Sierra Leone as an exemption, because we're all African. That's why we are trying to unite as one. And we're trying to unite as one. If we are seeing that Madagascar's cure is really a very good one, and if their herbalist has been very good one in producing this cure, though the WHO is denying the fact. But as Africans, as Sierra Leoneans to be precise, the question goes, Sierra Leoneans to be precise, I think the president or the people, whoever is concerned, health facility people, need to accept this cure, and then if not endorsing it, if they are trying to doubt the cure, then let them just take a few and then try to test some of the patients they are having. Maybe we can see if it's really curing it. Later we can endorse, but I really see, yes, Sierra Leone need to accept this cure in this nation, because we need to be peaceful, because if we continue to have these cases in Sierra Leone, we are all seeing the economy is going down the drain each and every day. The economy is going down.
Thank you very much, Timothy Sessay. So we get the view of Juma on whether Sierra Leone should accept and the whole Africa should accept the COVID-19 organics, or should they depend on the World Health Organization?
Africa, to be precise, and that of Sierra Leone, need to accept the COVID-19 cure made by Madagascar. The reason being is that sometimes in life you don't need to depend on other people for your own success. Africa is a continent as a whole. We don't need to depend on WHO, on either America, on either Europe or Asia for our own betterment, because people are dying in Africa. So we relying on WHO, saying we need to wait until the endorsement of this particular medicine made by Madagascar. It might take years, like I always say. It might take years. And you're looking at the statistics here, having a year, this coronavirus being in Africa, by the time we'll get noticed, the whole of Africa should have gone. So we need to realize our potential and try to endorse this particular medicine by ourselves, Africans, like what other countries have already started doing, the likes of Niger, Cameroon, and the rest. So Sierra Leone also needs to go for this particular medicine. We need to go there and ask for it. We need to negotiate with Madagascar for us to have this particular cure. I say the cure is 100% accurate. It heals so many people. So we need to go out there, and Africa as a whole, we need to produce what we consume and consume what we produce.
Okay, let us get the final views of both Timothy Sessay and Juma. Timothy Sessay, what's your final views and what's your final say to the government of Sierra Leone and leaders in Africa?
Well, as I said earlier on, to leaders of Africa and Sierra Leone, to be precise, and basis on Sierra Leone, because we know Sierra Leone to be a very poor country, I can say, very poor country, poor in a sense, you understand? So, and the economy is going down, and now COVID-19 is here. It's going down each and every day. We really go out there, we hear people, traders crying, the economy is going down, they are not having a lot of income, or they are not having something to eat as a family or as a whole. And all as a result of this COVID-19, because we are all seeing, we are under a state of emergency for a year. Just imagine, under a state of emergency for a year. It means the economy is going down slowly, and the leaders need to go in and request, as said earlier, and request for this Madagascar cure, because it's really, we need it now. Maybe if it happens that we have it now, we can see it can cure a lot of people, as we're having. Maybe we cannot have cases right now, because the tracing in Sierra Leone is very much poor. The tracing is very much poor. That's why we're having cases increasing each and every day. By we having this cure, it can help a lot. It can really help a lot. So to the viewers out there, thank you very much, and continue to watch the Weekly Blend. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Timothy Sessay. So we now get the final views of Juma and his farewell to the Weekly Blend.
Previously, like I said, African leaders need to come as one. They need to embrace themselves. Let there be no differences. You look at West Africa, North Africa, South Africa, that of East Africa, and that of Central Africa. A continent with 54 or 55 countries, I think, is a continent like one of the biggest continents in the world. So you're looking at this, do we need to rely on other people for our survival? Whether the biggest continent in the world or the second biggest, do we need to rely on other people for our survival? Whether medicine, food, economy, our trade, do we need to rely on them? That is why we have the AU, African Union. They're there to represent us. So I'm pleading to African leaders, and also bringing down to our president, let him try to at least negotiate with the Madagascar government so that we'll be able to have the cure. So thank you very much for hosting me here today. Viewers, continue watching Weekly Blend. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Juma and Timothy Sessay, for being my beautiful guests today on the Weekly Blend, which happens to be the first edition of the Weekly Blend. Viewers and listeners, keep watching Weekly Blend. Follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. I have been your host, Abdulai Barrie. Thank you for watching the Weekly Blend.